Boss, because of the heavy rain, our village is facing many problems. Most of the areas in the village is filled with the water, but that contractor is not letting the water go to the river. He had stopped the water tunnel with heavy rocks. Please help us. A man in his 40s said, while looking at the head with a begging look. The man in his 50s looked at his assistant with anger and said, tell Jungkook to call that contractor and give the piece in his mind. Suddenly, everyone's eyes went toward the man who was coming down through the stairs while looking at everyone with that eagle eyes which can send shiver down to anyone's spines. What's the matter? He said while looking at his father. His father was started telling him everything. After listening the whole thing, Jungkook looked at Yoongi, his right hand, and said, get my car ready, we are going to the village. A boy was peacefully enjoying that while ringing a beautiful song. Today is a festival in their village. They go and get ready, we have to go. They look at the sky and his eyes were wide and knowing that the sun is going to get down soon. He quickly get up and ran inside his house. Jungkook is leaning on the back car while watching the beautiful view of that contractor getting beaten up by his mans. He hates when someone disappoints his orders. That contractor dares to do that, so he's getting this punishment. Suddenly the loud thunderstorm were echo the whole area and it started raining heavily. Jungkook sit inside the black car while his man would keep beating that contractor. A beautiful singing voice that catches attention. He came out of the car and carefully listened to the voice. When someone is singing a song, he slowly starts going to the right direction. Then his eyes will fall on the beautiful view. The boy who was playing with the water while getting wet in the rain, singing beautifully. He would adore in a beautiful dress and silver jewelry, looking graceful. Jungkook didn't know why, but he got stiff in his place while staring at him with a small smile. After some time, the loud thunderstorm again echoed, and the area were get out of the thought. He looked at the boy, but before he can say something, he went from there. His voice is very deep and amazing. Jungkook was lying on the bed while thinking about the boy. He didn't know but why his voice was ringing in his mind. He never heard this type of calm and deep voice before. Jungkook, look at these photos and tell me which boy or girl you like. They are perfect for, according to me. Now choose one for them. Jungkook let out a groan and looked at his mother, who just entered the room while holding a bundle of photos for their marriage. His mother sat on the bed and he lay his head on her lap, then started looking at every photo with a boring expression. It's not like he hated marriage, it's just after seeing the life of his married cousin and his father, he didn't want to eat that poisonous sweet, which is also called the wedding sweet. Jungkook, look at photos carefully, his mother said while looking at him with a glare. He let out a sign and started looking at the photos carefully. Suddenly a pig would catch his attention. He's the same boy, Jungkook thought while looking at the photo. With a soft smile, his mother looked at him and then in the photo of the boy with a form and smile. He's Kim Taehyung, Kim's son. If you like then, tell me, I'll talk to his father. Jungkook slowly nodded his head while looking at the photo. He didn't know why but after seeing him for the first time, listening his deep husky voice, the only thing that came in his mind is that he's going to be his boy. What? Had ma'am not ever dared to marry his son? How can it be possible? There is no match between us and them. I don't want my son to marry that heartless man and get a title of marrying someone for money, Taehyung's mother said while looking at her husband. He is his only son, and she was not going to let a beast marry his son. Taehyung's father looked at her with a glare and said, "Shut up. This marriage will happen. Our son will live like a queen. In that house, I'm his father and I just want a good future. He's not bad. He will take care of him. Taehyung, will you accept that request for your father? He said while looking at Taehyung, who was just standing near the door biting his lips, and looked down, before of nervousness. They had heard that John Jungkook is very cold man. He looked at his father. He knew that his father will loved him very much, and if he chose then the person for him, then he must be have thought about his good future. So he slowly nodded his head and said, I'm ready to marry him. Look, like my brother will love my brother-in-law very much, one of Jungkook's cousins was said, while looking at the pair with a cheering voice. A smile appeared on Jungkook's face after hearing his word, and he looked at him, who didn't say anything. But his glowing face is clearly defining his happiness. Be careful, brother-in-law. My brother is really strong, Jungkook's cousin said, while looking at Tae with a teasing smile, who was sitting on his bed like a newlywed bride. A blush will appear on his face after hearing the word, and that others start laughing loudly. Listen, your dear brother is coming. Don't let him enter the bedroom and meet the bride without taking a bunch of money, Jungkook's mother said while looking at the group, who quickly ran toward the bedroom door to take the money. Jungkook entered his bedroom after getting a heavy bundle of money to his cousin. He closed the door room and looked toward the boy who was sitting on the bed. He slowly went toward Tae and sat on the bed in front of him. He felt his breathing was getting heavy, so he slowly held his hand and said, Don't worry, I didn't do anything without your permission. They looked up and saw his face. He slowly come closer to Tae and looked at his beautiful, breathtaking face. Go and change your dress. It looks so heavy. They slowly nodded his head and get up from the bed. He took his bag and then went inside the changing room. He stared at his disappearing figure and thought, I will treat you like a queen, John Taehyung. Taehyung let out a grin and slowly opened her eyes, and the sunlight hit his face. He looked at his room and then quickly sat on the bed. They looked beside but didn't find him. Suddenly his eyes fell on the clock, making his eyes winded in shock. It's 10, and today is my first day in my in-laws' house. How careless I am. He quickly got up from the bed. He is always a morning riser, but because of all the rituals and work, he becomes so tired. Then he slept till light. They quickly take the towel and run toward the bathroom. In a rush, totally forget that his husband is also live in the same room as him because of the nervousness. After some time, I don't want any tension. Just clear the matter. If they don't understand, then cut them into pieces. Jungkook put that phone on the table, near the door, and locked the door. He ran his finger through his hair, then went toward the bathroom. But before he can open the door would get open and reveal that newlywed wife. Only in a towel, they looked and turned winded after seeing Jungkook in front of him, who is looking at him with a shocking expression. Without himself knowing, he clubbed his saliva while looking at Tae from top to bottom. He quickly shook his head and looked down and said, I'm going out. Just call me when you get dressed. He quickly turned around and dashed out from the room, closing the door. A soft smile appeared on Tae's face after seeing his action. He respects his opinion and doesn't touch him or try to do anything disrespectful toward him, which is really making him happy. He may be a beast for others, but he's a gentleman for me.